Hello, so I know that it's the 10th of June, but sorry for the delay in June's ink drop video, but sometimes life happens. This was clearly the wrong tool for this video. I always think I'm prepared and then I'm not. But I should have everything else ready. So, let's do this. Okay. I have some new lighting, so hopefully that helps. Right, so the usual. And down to earth. This month we tried to keep things a little grounded. Our June palette is more down to earth. It reminds us of summers playing in the dirt, making mud pies. But what is great is that you can still get away with some of these colors in the office. So let's get down and dirty with these colors, or at least a little inky. Diamine Salamander, Noodler Sequoia Green, Pelikan Edelstein, Aventurine, and Platinum Mix-Free Earth Brown, Private Reserve Ebony Brown. Well, that's promising. I've liked the Ebony Blue and the Ebony, or maybe it was like Ebony, Ebony Purple. I liked those two. So, let's check them out. Get my white paper. I'm using ARC notebook paper. Oh yeah, I think that the lighting is much better. Let's get a little closer with the lighting. So this is like experimental. I have a new light here for my setup. And I'm hoping that that's going to make things a little truer to color. And then, you know, of course with this earthy color set, it's not going to be that vibrant, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, this is Diamine Salamander and Ebony Brown. And it does look on camera like it looks in real life. This one gives us a good idea about that. This is the Mix-Free Earth Brown, Sequoia Green, and Aventurine. So, I'm going to do a little writing sample and show you what they look like with my glass quill. I think that worked the best. So let's first go for the Pelikan Edelstein Aventurine. Okay. I've had way too many spills to not put the cap back on. So, I will hold this up so that you can get a better look. Trying to clean it off of this glass quill is a challenge. But, try to get that done while I show you the sample. So, what you're seeing, or at least what I'm seeing on my camera screen and in real life, looks very similar. You can see that there is, well, actually, I don't see much shading here, to be honest with you. It looks like there's a little bit of a darker outline around the ink strokes, but it looks just like a nice emeraldy kind of green. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too, you know, showy, but it's a nice solid dark green. So when they say you could probably use it at work, I imagine you could. Alright, still kind of cleaning off my glass quill. Definitely not going to be so dip happy for the next one. Noodler's Sequoia Green. In fact, I think I'm going to do, well, it seems like it's shaping up like that already. Do the greens next to each other. Okay, so not so much. the way this glass quill works, the ink like pretty much works its way up the quill, even if you just dip the tip. What am I writing? Oh, O-I-A. Sorry, my hand is like funky today. Do you ever have those days where you just have trouble writing? Forming the letters? So, this one wasn't as inky as the last one because I was a little more careful with the quill, but let's check out the sample. So this could easily pass at work because especially where I wrote it here, and I would imagine it would come out of an out of a fountain pen, more like this end than this lighter end here. You can see where it was just kind of running out of gas. It looks like a blacky or a green with a lot of black in it. So it's very dark. When I compare the two, and it does look pretty true. Let me try something here if you'll entertain me. No, that doesn't help. That's okay, so this is the one that works. When I look at them, this looks more forest green. It just looks more earthy, like it has more brown in it than, say, the Aventurine, which makes sense. It's Sequoia green, right? So it's a more of a foresty, earthy color than Aventurine, which is a brighter green. So if I were to look in a crayon box, I would look for, like, you know, forest green. This is what you'd find. All right, let's try Salamander. Did I see? I'm having one of those days where you just can't write. And my quill's running out of ink. Still not a perfect process, people. This reminds me of, is it Zhivago? I think it's Zhivago. Noodler, Zhivago, where it was kind of like a greeny black. It's not quite like that, but it reminds me of that. So what you're getting here is like a brownish, army-ish kind of olive colored green. I imagine if you were to write with it with a fountain pen, it would look much more like the first part than this lighter part where my quill was running out of ink. But it is definitely in the olive family. So we go from like an emerald green to a forest green to an olive color, like a drab olive. And it's okay if that color, you know, floats your boat. Not really, you know, my cup of tea, but it's definitely like an army green, like an olive green color. Okay, and now we're on to the browns. Let's go with the Platinum Mix Free Earth Brown. So I think this is from the collection where you can like mix your own inks or something. So the quill it's still sharp, like a nib that you would put on a nib holder. It's still got a sharp edge to it. When I run it across the paper, especially when it's really inky, it kind of digs on the paper. Okay. So, this reminds me of like clay soil. If you have clay soil where you live, this is it. It's that kind of, gosh, now that I've said that, that's all that sticks in my mind. It's a light peachy kind of brown, if that makes sense. I mean, what's coming off here is true to what I'm seeing on my camera, but in this one definitely has, actually, so does this one above. The Salamander does have shading in it, but this definitely does have like shading, especially, you know, when I've like picked up the pen and put it back down at the beginning of letters. It has that shading, and it's like a peachy brown. I think you can maybe see that. But it is a light brown that leans peach. It looks darker farther away, but close up how I'm showing you, it's definitely got that peach color to it. And the last one, Ebony Brown, which, I don't know, I think the Aventurine, wow, what was that? Do you see that? It's got like scum. Gross. I've seen a friend of mine had some of this happen with, oh my gosh, was it Scribble Workshops, where it formed like a skimming, like a film? Look at that. Can you, I'm going to show you, do you see that? There's like a chunk that I'm moving in there, a chunk of like ink skanch. That is kind of gross. I mean, I'm sure it's just ink stuff, but I would imagine that would not be good if that got into your fountain pen. You see that whole chunk of stuff I just pulled out of there? Huh. I wonder if the rest of it's like that. That's really bizarre. And now I don't know if it's just my imagination, but as soon as I opened this bottle, it seemed like I could smell like a weird chemical thing. Let me see. Yeah, it definitely has an odor to it. That's really weird. That's weird. I mean, I've used the Private Reserve, Ebony Purple, Ebony Blue or Navy or whichever one it was. I really liked them. Those were some favorites. And now the Ebony Brown. We'll try it, but that had like a ball of goo in it that I put onto a wet paper towel, and it is still definitely a solid ball of goo. It didn't even like, what's the word? Sort of dissolve onto the paper towel. Private Reserve, Ebony Brown. This is definitely a nice, dark, very dark, rich brown. So, immediately when I was writing with this, it reminded me of walnut. In fact, I have some black walnut. Let me actually compare it. This is a lid to a box, but very close in color to black walnut. Wow, that's pretty. So the Ebony series of the Private Reserve doesn't disappoint. Let's see if you can get the brown. I think so. It looks a little bit darker on camera, a little more black than it is in real life. You can definitely see that it's brown in real life, but from afar it looks almost black. But it is a very deep, deep, rich walnut colored brown. Very pretty. It definitely makes this one here look orange. You can see like streaks. This had a lot of shading in it. This does have some shading in various parts of the letters where you can really see the brown come through. Very nice. So this was down to earth. Definitely an earthy selection. I would say the two standouts for me of this collection are the Aventurine and the Ebony Brown. They really, the Aventurine just pops off the page. It's very bright, vibrant, and that Ebony Brown is super rich and deep. Especially when I look at them kind of end to end on a spectrum. These all seem fairly muted compared to the bright richness of these two colors. They really just pop off the page, and these are kind of, you know, muted, dusty versions of you know, wannabe color compared to those two. So that was June 2014 Down to Earth ink drops. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry that it was several days late, but life happens. And anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and we'll speak with you soon. Bye.